damn.
You got the thing spooled up, the thing
yet.
to do the stuff.
The stuff and the things.
Do the stuff. Go.
Which one should we do? Here we go.
Know.
I got one.
Sure.
I'm wearing their hat right now. Okay.
All right. We're easy.
Hey, it's Mark from Trigger Tech. You're listening to the First Focal Plane podcast with Sean, Chris, and Rooster.
Welcome to the First Focal Plane podcast with Sean and Rooster.
I guess I got to get Johnny to update the music. The guy who wrote our music, Sean, Chris, and Rooster. But it made sense tonight because Chris is nowhere to be found.
Isn't here, so you know what the hell with him.
He's living it up in Orlando right now.
That's right.
Learning how to choke people more. Huh?
Isn't he back though now?
Who knows?
Yeah,
that guy's he's an enigma wrapped in a mystery. So
that's deep. That's deep. That's way beyond me.
Hey, no kidding, hey.
All right, folks, welcome to the episode 81 of the First Focal Plane podcast. You know, I got thinking today, 81 episodes of personal attacks and violations of the human condition. And these people keep coming back.
Gluttons for punishment, hey?
Well, no kidding. Are we sick or are they? I don't know.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
I think so. Anyways, today we have our very special guests, Chase Beckley, also known as the PRS Kid, and his father, Tyler Beckley. Wave to the people.
Guys.
Wave to the nice people.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right. And as always, we're brought to you by EM Precision Rifles in Leduc, Alberta. They have everything you need to compete at the highest level of any long-range precision game of your choice, from a rebarrel to a full-on custom build from scratch. EM Precision guarantees performance. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and on their website at emprifles.ca.
Yeah, and I bet you Steve's so inundated with work that he needs to be caffeinated 24/7. I think
that guy, he works, and then when he's not working, he's working.
Yeah. And then when he's sleeping, he's working.
He just goes to work. Yeah.
And then when he's working anyway.
Right.
But if Steve was smart, he would buy bolt action coffee.
He probably would. Yeah. Yeah.
Give
him that extra jam for the day.
That's right. How about that for a segue? Hey, there we go. Take a week off. Sean's nice and fresh, ready to rock. Nice segue coming in. Anyway. For world-class specialty coffee from world-class Canadian Forces veterans, go to boltactioncoffee.com. Order up some coffee for any occasion. While you're there, check out their great line of apparel, mugs, stickers, shirts, patches. The merch is phenomenal. So help support a great veterans organization as well as the show by using code FIRSTFOCALPLANE for 10% off your order. First Focal Plane, 10% off.
Get the stuff, get the coffee, and the stuff.
Well, get the coffee, get the stuff, and then take a call sign 66 course.
Absolutely.
They're gearing up here. They got courses all over Western Canada right now. But
yeah,
for those of you who live under a rock and don't know who these guys are, call sign 66. They're a veterans-based training organization founded to facilitate multi-generational passage of information, ballistic applications, research and development, and shooter development. The omnidirectional passage of information is key to the community's success and growth, as well as our organizational philosophy. Their organizational philosophy is such that they all have something to offer. So welcome to the Brotherhood. For more info, go to callsign66.ca and look at their ongoing courses and sign up. It's worth every penny. So yeah.
Speaking of philosophies, no, I got nothing. Yeah. So anyway, the genius is behind the Canuck line of firearms.
Oh, there you go.
Odell Engineering is your premium importer and distributor of some of Canada's top brands of firearms, including Bergara, Rock Island Armory, Mission First Tactical, Hyperfire, and of course the Made for Canada Canuck firearms. Find their products and a dealer carrying these products at odellengineeringltd.com, on Facebook at Odell Engineering Limited, or walk into your local gun store and tell them you heard about him here on the First Focal Plane podcast.
You can own your very own B14 HMR.
You could.
Yeah. Look at this. This is sweet. Phil sent us this
Sacre bleu.
in 6.5 Creed. He sent a 30 MOA rail. And yeah, I haven't shot it yet, but I'm going to.
30.
It'll be fun. Anyway, you
30.
can get this. You can also get a
Nice.
marked scope too, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, we'll set that back down right there. Anyway, Chase and Tyler, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, just happy to be on here with you guys.
Nice. Well, we're glad to have you. Before we dive into it, why don't
We're going
we
to do all we can to change the fact that you're happy to be on with us.
Yeah. We'll regret it eventually.
No, we're just kidding.
or are we? But anyway, for those who don't know who you are, why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the guy that drives Chase to the matches for the most part.
And then I'm the guy who wins everything for him.
Attaboy.
There you
Even
go. That's
so.
a perfect relationship.
No, we're I'm Tyler. This is my son Chase. We both shoot for Team Go Big. We've been doing this for a couple years now, and that's pretty much it for us for the most part from the introduction part. Yeah.
Right on. And Tyler, since we're all worried, how old are you? That's the big question.
How old am I? I'm 42. I just turned 42.
As he's looking at Chase, should I tell him the truth?
Yeah, do I? What did I tell
I
your
thought
mom?
about lying and realized that he would rat me out and figured I'd just
Right.
Exactly. Damn kids.
But the question we're all wondering is, Chase, how old are you?
12.
Yo,
Wow.
Tom.
12.
No kidding.
The kid shoots more than I do, and he's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when Chase started, when did you shoot your first South Pro match?
10.
Yeah. So
Wow.
technically, you have to be 12 to shoot a match.
Right.
So for the first 2 years, we had to get special permission from the whoever was putting on the match to allow somebody to allow a youth under 12 to enter. Which everybody was rock stars about. So it was good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's usually that way, I think, for sure. So when did you start shooting then, Chase?
Between competition or just shooting?
All
it?
these years, it's such a blur, hey?
Yeah. Well, started competition shooting when I was 9, and then probably shot Dad's 22 when I was 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like when did that whole thing start? When you said, "Hey, Dad, I want to shoot that rifle that you got there.
Yeah.
Teach me
about
how."
4 or 5.
Is that right? Good deal. So has
Yeah.
it been one of those things where you just kind of grinding on your dad all the time and teach me what you know, or is it more of a case of Dad picking you up and saying, "Son, come on with me. I'm going to teach you a few things."
Probably me trying to get him to come shoot
That's
or
excellent.
help.
Wow, good for you, man.
That's awesome.
So what
Not
got you into the shooting sports? Like you were like you obviously saw Dad and wanted to play with Dad's toys probably, but what made you say, "Hey, I want to do that"?
Just Dad coming back with a whole bunch of prizes and
Nice.
Oh,
how nice everybody is with youth shooters and stuff like that. And so Dad went to his first match, and I was a little upset I couldn't go. So
you wanted some of the shiny things
yeah.
that Dad was bringing home.
Uh-huh.
Good deal.
He makes it sound like I probably do anything home in the first very long time. So that's good.
Well, Tyler, how long have you been participating in matches and that?
Yeah, so honestly, I'm pretty new to it. We both are. So I think I shot my first match in maybe 18, 19,
Okay.
18 maybe. I kind of came at it from a hunting background. So we were outfitters. We grew up hunting. Chase grew up hunting. Chase's, shooting probably started just hunting gophers. We have a property, and so that was just kind of what we did all the time, right? And so we definitely came at it from a hunting perspective. Her background, so to speak, wanted to shoot more, and heard about this competition these guys are doing in Southern Alberta, and I think my first match was one of the Saprel one-day matches, and I harassed Sean with a dozen stupid questions, and I think all of his answers were just, bring a gun and show up.
Right.
And then, by the end of the day, I think he walked past and asked if I was hooked yet. And that's where the rabbit hole started. And
man, it is a slippery, deep hole, isn't it?
In 8 hours, it all happened all at once. But I will. I didn't want to go by myself, so I sucked a buddy into coming along with me, and I remember because we shot a little bit. I mean, laying on our belly, shooting like everybody does at home, and like I said, we come from a hunting background. I remember walking around kind of the course of fire before we get started, and we're ranging targets, and we're like, these things are only like 400, 500, 600 yards. Like, we're gonna here. This is easy,
until
they put you on the clock and you go through your first 2 stages, one rotation out, and the RO's telling you you're hitting 12 feet low or whatever it is,
Right.
And I think that's kind of where we got started.
What's the saying? Every plan's great, but until it hits first contact, or that buzzer goes off. Are you ready? Stand by.
Yeah.
Beep. Crap. What was I doing? Yeah.
Yeah. I know I rehearsed this.
Yeah. Exactly.
I imagine. Did you have any of the same pains, Chase, that your dad had, or is it you're pretty well rehearsed because your dad learned all the lessons first?
I went through a few lessons before I got to the point where I was able to figure everything out before messing it up.
Well, you know what? Messing it up is part of the fun anyways, hey?
Yeah.
That's how you learn.
Absolutely.
That's how you get better, right?
Yeah.
So well,
go ahead, Sean. Go. Just go.
Well, I was just going to ask right away. So, Chase, what are you running? What do you shoot?
Mm-hmm.
I shoot, for the PRS, I shoot a KS Arms 6XC. 6mm XC, and then with an MDT chassis and a Minox scope. Okay. And then for the NRL Hunter, I shot Christensen Arms 6.5 Creedmoor, carbon fiber barrel and stock with a Minox scope.
Nice.
So why did you go with the 6XE? Or I guess is that for more of a question for Tyler? I'm not sure, but
full disclosure, I'm not a real technical gun guy.
You're not a cartridge nerd like me.
Yeah, I would love to be able to converse with you on all the ins and outs of the XC and why we picked it and on and on. Honestly, Sean at Badlands was doing all of our work at that point. I was looking for something for Chase. He had it. We talked about it a little bit. It seemed like a good 6mm low recoil, could do everything he was ever going to need to do. And then I'm a firm believer that once you kind of got a cartridge and got dope and rather to reinvent the wheel unless there's a real significant reason to keep it simple. From that purchase, honestly, we built match rifles and I when he was shooting an XC and I was shooting a 6.5, I'm doing both of our dope and I'm looking at it and I'm going, his ballistics are a third better than mine. Mm-hmm. This is a no-brainer. I have to catch up.
Yeah. But then you went, for lack of a better way to put this, backwards a little bit for the NRL stuff to the 6.5 Creedmoor.
Don't know how much you've read up on the Hunter series, the NRL, but you have to make power factor. It is impossible to do with a 6 mil bullet.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm with you.
Know
now.
that. Okay.
Yeah, can you maybe expand on the NRL series for us? Because I like I was saying earlier, I know about it, but I haven't dug into it too much to really know the intricacies of it. I guess if you could, and
Kurt, wasn't the Sniper series based on the NRL Hunter team match? That rimfire match you had?
I'm not sure, man. I
think it is.
So
anyway, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've shot all of one match, so that makes us experts.
Absolutely,
more than us
over this crowd. Absolutely.
Sure. So for the most part, they do have divisions. They've got a team division. They even pick from a separate table. They're kind of a separate entity. They've got a team division. They've got a factory division. There is the light open division, which is 12 pounds and under. That is everything you're going to use on your rifle: sling, bipod, the whole deal. Then there's a heavy that has to be under 16 pounds. Pretty easy to do, but still, there is a requirement there. So those are kind of the categories that you can enter, so to speak.
Okay.
Then, like I said, to my knowledge, the NRL is pretty much moving to this Hunter series. They still have the 22 series. They're pretty much out of the PRS rimfire stuff from my understanding. I don't think that Travis is doing those anymore. I think it really jumped out at us at the match that, gosh, a third of the shooters, this is their first match.
Is that right? Okay.
So I think the growth potential in the Hunter series, anybody that hunts, shoots long range is looking at it going, I can take my rifle. This is good practice, if nothing else. Yeah. And they're jumping on board and running. They can go do a match. I should also mention, when you enter the NRL, there is one more division you can enter. It's a little bit cheaper. They call it the skills division. And it does a couple things for you. You don't get to walk the table, so you're not looking to win a trophy or anything like that. But they do allow the ROs or a pro or somebody to come in and help you. So if you've never shot one before, if you've never shot a competition before, I would highly recommend your first one. Enter as a skills division. RO is going to help you. They'll even throw a pro in with you. To kind of help you and walk you through it, and it's a huge help. Yeah, so
that's a heck of a way to get into it.
That's a neat idea.
Yeah. I like that. So sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, just to even qualify to compete, you have to meet a certain power factor. I think it's 30, whatever. I'd have to look again, but a 6.5, 140 grain bullet traveling at 27.10 just makes it. So that's the bare minimum. And we saw everything. We saw everything from that. I would say 50% of guys are shooting a 6.5, but there were guys shooting 300 Win Mags too. So top loader 300 Win Mags.
No kidding.
You get a little bit of everything. Yeah.
So it's kind of a game for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, and having done one now, best rifle's not going to win, or it's not going to matter, I should say.
Yeah.
I don't know. John Finch won one we were at, and he probably had the best rifle, and he stomped us, but he could have taken any of our rifles and stomped us. So
sure.
But it's so the way the format works, just kind of fill you in on the NRL. You basically have 4 different stages. You can have 1 position, 4 targets, 2 positions, 2 targets, or
1 target, 4 positions.
Yeah, 1 target. Sorry, 3 different. So those are really the only formats. When you get to your staging area, you come in blind. They have you stage behind something so you can't see anything. You come in blind. They give you a direction that you're supposed to look. And that's it. You got 4 minutes to find the targets, range the targets, engage the targets.
So exactly the same as your sniper series, Kurt, except we didn't have a barrier. We could still kind of get an angle as to where the stuff was, but where the targets were. But you're supposed to show up blind, and then you range and engage accordingly based on the positions that are there. And right on.
Nice. So you guys were just down in California at one of these things, hey?
Yeah, exactly. We just got back yesterday from the San Diego NRL Hunter, which is in Mason Valley. And that was our first match, the first NRL Hunter match. And yeah, exactly.
Nice. And how'd you guys do?
Yeah.
I came top junior and 20th overall, and Dad came 26th or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So did you kneecap your dad to get 5-6 spots ahead of him, or what?
That's called Tanya Harding. Did you Tanya Harding your dad?
Yeah, exactly.
Tyler's hobbling around. Why? Sorry, Chase, old guy joke.
Well, that's right.
He did good. Technically, he would have won the factory as well, but they didn't want him to cross enter. And as a youth, I can help him, which technically kicked him out of the factory division.
Oh, is that right? And what was that specific? Was there any one specific thing, or was there a bunch that kicked him out of the
just he's shooting a straight factory rifle. He's shooting an NPR, Christensen NPR. So he was straight up eligible. The fact that I assisted him,
sorry,
is what bumped him out of that.
Oh, sorry. I'm a good kid. I'm just not all that smart sometimes. Yeah. Well, that's all right.
Yeah. Come back with something.
Yeah. Well, hey, how many other people can say that, right?
Yeah.
How many other people do you know have gone down to California to shoot a match, for goodness sake,
and place in the top
come back
20.
with something and place in the top 20 out of how many shooters were there?
There's a little over 100. I don't know exactly how many guys were there, but
Chase, that's pretty stinking good, man.
That's huge, man.
Yeah. This is a dangerous thing though, because I've known a lot of guys, their first time out hunting, they go with an experienced guy and they shoot a 160-inch whitetail. Where do you go from there? Right? You got to be careful with that kind of stuff, because like those guys will experience years and years and years of never shooting anything even close to that. You need to be careful.
We saw when we were outfitters, we saw it every fall. Guys that come out on the first hunt. We all got lucky. They did very, very well, and I always felt a little, a tiny bit bad for those guys, because they probably would have been happy with a smaller animal per se. And if you don't kind of have the struggle for the climb, you probably do. It didn't mean as much, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah,
they were missing. It was unfortunate because they were missing one little piece of it.
Nice.
But
the other thing is, if you beat up on your dad too much, Chase, he might refuse to take you anymore.
Yeah.
When you get your license when you're 16, he'll go like, okay, you're out on your own, kid.
Yeah.
You're all right with that?
I'll drive.
That's right.
Bullets and powder are still expensive. So.
That's right. Yeah. So are you hand loading yet, Chase?
A lot of bottle drives and a lot of hand mowing or lawn mowing.
Yeah. That's good. So Dad got you at the bench loading all the time?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I hope so.
This time wasn't too bad, but it'll start getting worse.
Worse? No, that is your zen time
fun
in the gun room. You're just pulling handles and loading shells.
That's when you put on the first Focal Plane podcast and you just start cranking away. I love brass prep. I love brass prep.
That's right. Yeah.
But reloading for one is not too bad, but reloading for two is that's one more level. Yeah.
Well, and then having to manage dope for both calibers too. That's yeah, you bet. A bit of a task. So backing up a little bit, your your setup for NRL. Was that a Hunt 26 chassis, or was that a, I can't remember. I saw it. Was that a Christensen? Okay.
So like I said, Chase is shooting a straight factory MPR Christensen. Right. It's got Minox LR glass on it, and honestly, I've shot Christensens for a long time, and for this application, work great. Nice. For the first guy, if you're going to go shoot your first match or whatever, and don't want to do full custom,
sure,
I can't say a bad thing about them for the most part.
Good. Yeah.
My side, I went with a Defiance Anti.
Okay.
IBI. We developed a barrel that's a little bit short. We're testing a little bit shorter barrel with a 22-inch barrel.
Okay.
Ryan Stacy helped us out, and they're that heavy bore carbon fiber barrel that they have now.
Yeah.
I think the barrel itself finished is right at 4 pounds. Okay. So if you're trying to compete in that light division, when you start adding everything on, you got to shave wherever you can. So so I've got that IBI barrel. That thing's awesome, and it's sitting in that Hunt 26 chassis. Yeah. Again, a marvel of engineering. MDT, hit it out of the park. And they, MDT's been MDT and IBI both good bull chase nice. So we got them a little bit early, so we had a little bit of time.
Awesome.
I think that lightweight action with a 20-inch carbon fiber barrel sitting in that Hunt 26. I think that part with glass with a Mark V on it, 9 pounds 2 ounces. So
kidding. Oh my!
So we're looking at really a straight up legitimate 1,000-1,200 yard rifle, well under 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I would have no hesitation in taking that system to a 30 cal, some sort of short mag.
Right.
And, that thing would just be for a just a all round caliber North America.
No
that thing
kidding.
Would just be unbelievable. So
deadly.
I'm still running a double pull, straight up heavy double pull, and I had no problem, which weighs about 2 pounds, and I had no problem making a weight there. I was half pound under, so that was pretty easy. If I had it to do all over again, and I'd never shot an NRL hunter before, two things. I probably would have shot a skills division first. That just, I think you learn a ton.
Sure.
Second thing, no problem with factory, but even the light division, the heavy division, is a little bit. It's a little bit softer maybe than the open heavy, the open light. Okay. All the top pros, 5 guys that are going to win the competition are running light chassis. So
you're okay.
So don't, advice to somebody going to their first match, don't chase that lightweight chassis right off the bat.
Right. So you were working with IBI to develop a barrel?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Ryan developed everything in the barrel, so I have very little to do with it other than shooting it. They just haven't produced a lot of these heavy carbon barrels and given them to guys that are going to try and stretch them out there. I was talking to Ryan tonight about it, and he's like, we haven't had a lot of guys give us data past 1,000 yards on a 22-inch carbon barrel. So,
Ryan, if you're listening, we'll give you all the data you want for any barrel you wish to throw our way. Anyway,
and I was telling him, Canada IBI is a big deal, and and when we were down there, everybody's scared of that carbon fiber there, and so and not to mention they hadn't really had a lot of experience with IBI, so And I honestly, I think that's the future of hunting rifles, high-end hunting rifles, even competition rifles for the most part, is right there.
Like when I went to SHOT Show, we hung out at the Beguera booth all the time. And right across the laneway from us was the Christensen Arms booth, and they had that new modular rifle that only came in the carbon platform. And it's like that. They're like, yeah, that's the cat's ass right there. Excuse me, Chase. I'm sorry. But yeah, oh, right on. You're muted, Kurt. He's terrible with the mute button today.
I was saying that's $20 for the swear jar.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Chase is gonna PM you his mailing address
EMT info. Yeah. His Cash App, GoFundMe. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, right on. So somebody asked earlier, where is it? What are the factory division requirements? I think we kind of went through it, didn't we?
I think so, but if you go on to the NRL Hunter page, they've got a list of manufacturers. And then as long as it comes from one of those manufacturers, it has to be 100% unaltered. So you can't change out a trigger, you can't chew it up, nothing like that. But as long as it's unaltered, it's good to go.
Okay. Right on. Sorry, okay. Sean, I'm just going through some of our notes.
No, so what triggers are you guys using? You've talked about everything else, but do you have a favorite trigger you guys have in your guns or what?
We're running Trigger Techs.
Hard to beat.
Our sponsor, Go Big carries them.
Right.
I think there's other great triggers out there. I'm kind of intrigued by the new MDT trigger, but honestly, I had a diamond go down on me like a day before the match.
Oh,
Go Big,
really?
Go Big, and Trigger Tech made sure I had that diamond there before the match. I mean, you can't. Their customer service and stuff's been top notch, and the product's top notch, and the fact that
the support too, like they support all like they're supporting our Canadian sticker drop build, which we'll get to at the end. But and that's just a small portion. Like you were talking about going down south and like Ryan at IBI, nobody really knows who they are at those big matches. Well, they're gonna learn, right? Same with like Trigger Tech. It's that's Ryan's Facebook handle. Yeah.
And he's kind of unacceptable.
Yeah, he is a little bit. You don't walk a table at an event in Canada. There's not a Trigger Tech there, and honestly, there's usually an IBI cert sitting there too. So, as a Canadian, we're trying to grow the sport up here. We're kind of doing our part, and we've got some good. We've got some good companies.
We do.
We shoot KS actions, IBI, MDT. We do everything we can to support those guys that are really standing behind us. And as a business owner, it's not always easy to throw something that's worth a lot of money out there and really just hoping you get something back in the long run. So I personally do everything I can to support those guys.
Man, we've come a long way in the last 5-6 years. Hey, all the manufacturers for this industry just really sprung up. It's been great.
I'm before, and I didn't really realize it until I got into the the competitive shooting sports. How many like I said, really top notch suppliers we have, manufacturers we have in Canada.
Yes.
And so, we're very, very fortunate that way. And doing business in Canada is so much easier.
Yeah. And not just in the precision rifle game too. You look at, since ARs went the way of the dodo with the May 1st OIC, you see guys like J.R. Cox at Target Sports Canada, and then the Shooting Edge out of Calgary coming out with that Sterling Arms R18, I think it's called, and then Spectre Ballistics coming out with their 180 platform. You got Kodiak Defense. You got all these guys stepping up, trying to fill a void,
right?
And they're all top notch. Like you can't.
Well, and we were for years and decades, and whatever we were slave to, whatever we could get out of the US, right? And
That's right.
and God bless these guys in Canada coming out with the components now. It just makes
Yeah.
things so much easier. And
Alberta Tactical Rifle, you know,
Yeah.
Wolverine Supplies, the guys there, like we're phenomenal with the community we've got. And
Mhm.
like Jeff said, Jeff Barron here on the Facebooks, he says, we are blessed these days with all the awesome precision rifle
Oh,
stuff in
man.
Canada. Like really,
Yeah,
we
especially
are. We're
now.
world
Yep.
class. Like
Especially now, like you say, Sean, with with the OIC bans and that 3-gun's kind of gone the way of the dodo, and it
That's why
seemed
I'm
like
here.
there's so many so many people migrated over to precision rifle, and that's really growing here. It's we're several years behind the US in that regard, but we are catching up, and there's more and more events coming. More and more manufacturers, more and more interest all the time. Another good example is Vortex Canada. You look at the support they've given this
Zanya at
industry.
Apex too.
Absolutely,
like,
he's a
Canadian-based,
newcomer in
yeah.
here. Yeah, that's really reaching out and getting some sponsored shooters and that coming in. That's really helping.
It looks
Go
like
Big
Mama
Tactical.
Bear is watching, I think.
Yeah.
Go Big Tactical. There we go. Hi, Mom. Anyway. Right on.
Right on. Shane's got a good point here.
Well, yeah. Shane on the Facebook. Canada has excellent tradespeople, no doubt. No doubt about it. We just need a legit gunsmith in college like Colorado has.
Listen, we had a big old arm on a space shuttle at one time. It had a Canada, emblem across the arm of the darn thing. I'm sure we could make rifle parts, can't we?
You'd think so.
Yeah, and I think it has in some contests. I mean, you could easily build a 100% Canadian built competition match rifle.
You can now.
I think I'm honestly
that's what we're giving away.
Other than the glass, that's what we're shooting. And I mean, I would put our stuff up against anybody, anywhere, and have no hesitation about
it. Right on.
Nice. And not to mention some of the gunsmiths that we have in Canada, just fantastic. Some of the best around. Shane Mansour says there's also a gunsmith course offered at Nate in Edmonton there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think you have to have some. I know that they have one. I'm not a gunsmith. I don't know a lot about it, but I think you have to have some machining background and stuff to get in. But
I'm not sure what the prerequisite is, but I mean, if Steve's watching, anybody can do it, right? Listen, Steve was a lifelong welder, and now he's one of the best machinists I know, at least for putting together rifles.
We won't hold that against him either.
Hey, you know what? There's a chance for almost anyone.
That's right. Well,
Chase, I can see that in your future.
Yeah, that's right.
Building precision rifles, even. Never mind just shooting them.
Backing up a little bit, we were just talking about Canada, Canada manufacturing taking off, and then guys like you, Tyler, who are bringing up the next gen of shooters. Starting them young, starting them early, starting them going hard. And Chase, props to you guys because. You don't see that. You don't see a lot of kids, especially with the culture that's in Canada right now and how firearm ownership is vilified. You don't see the young bucks anymore coming out, or if they do, they're scared or they don't want to go because they'd rather sit and play Nintendo all day.
Oh yeah, right? It's much more comfortable at home. That's something that really really impresses me about you, Chase. Honestly, like I've got a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I try and haul those guys out to my range. I have a range out at the farm that's 40 minutes out of town here, and they're like, nah, I don't know. I'm gonna play some games with my friends. It just makes me want to strangle them. Good for you, buddy.
Mom and Dad, like growing up, we didn't have very many electronics, so it was more of a outside. Go find something to do more than go sit and watch TV all day.
Mm-hmm. You got horses out there?
Yeah, horses, cows.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Then you kind of got to get your butt out there to take care of them. Hey,
It's a
Right
tool
on.
of the trade too, because the last thing you want is a coyote running down and taking out one of your calves or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
Do you want to tell them about the coyotes? Or?
yeah.
Let's have it.
sure.
Let's go for it, buddy.
So, there's been a few coyotes down in the bottom field lately, and we had Dad's gun before we got this 6.5 or my 6.5, and so we were shooting. They're trying to shoot all these coyotes with Dad's rifle, and we had it in my chassis.
Yeah.
And so we went down and tried to shoot them off of the fence. Dad shot a few times and missed. And then I shot a few times and missed.
That's how the story goes. Dad shot once, missed, got hell for it for a week. Chase has proceeded to
You'll
miss
never live that down, Dad.
multiple times. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
So Dad missed.
good.
Then what?
And then, like 2 days after, I was at home. We came back from school, and it was just about dinner time, and there was one down in the bottom field. And I was like, I'm going to go try to shoot it. So I took the gun down. And they were 700 yards.
Nice.
Went to shoot, totally missed, and there were two of them. So they ran off. And then the day after, there was one more, and that was in the afternoon. And I shot at that and missed. And then Monday morning when we went back to school, it ended up there was two like at 200 yards at the bottom of our hill, because it's our house on the top of the hill and then a hill, and they were like just at the bottom of it.
Just walking out the door to get on the bus, and we spot the coyotes. So
Yeah.
all day long, we got to think about those coyotes right below the house.
That's funny. It always happens that way. Just the same as that day that I forget to throw the rifle in the truck, go out to the farm, and sure as hell, there's a coyote there. If I have the rifle with me, I won't see one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's always how it ends up. When we were gone, there was a whole bunch of coyotes because our grandpa's been watching down there.
Right.
So there's like a coyote every day, and then we get back and we haven't seen one today
Right,
or
of
yesterday. So
What about big cats? Do you get cougars out there? You must.
Yeah, we got lots of cats here.
Right.
Yeah, we got all the cats: cougars, lynx, bobcat. Yeah.
You ever have a problem with them?
We have a resort here. We had a cat eat a goat out of the petting zoo here a couple years ago, and
Holy.
so yeah, no, we have them. Honestly, the biggest change in the last couple of years since we stopped hunting grizzly bears, we never used to see black bears everywhere, but we never see a grizzly bear down here. I think last year in the first 10 days of hunting season, we saw 10 different bears on the property.
Smokes.
Like
the
grizzlies or black?
Oh no,
Or
grizzly
both?
bears. Yeah.
10.
10. Dude, they're even running in packs now. So like
No.
like a sow with cubs with a boar. They're changing a little bit. Yeah. And even so I walk to work. It's my house to my office is a couple hundred yards, and I would say mid-August through October, half the time there's fresh grizzly bear tracks on the road. Yeah, see them constantly.
Wow.
They're running
I'd say
in
that's
packs.
a good argument for carry.
No kidding.
Get that 44 on your hip. Just going to the office, strapping up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wish you could.
No
Wow,
kidding.
that's crazy. So
Yeah.
you
Chase,
say
you're
they're
going to
running.
need a
let's
bigger
unpack that a
rifle
little
than your
bit.
6.5 Creedmoor for those bears.
yeah, exactly. Just wait
Yeah.
for them.
I wish you luck, pal.
Yeah, exactly. He'll
Thanks.
just shake that off. And just,
That's right. What
you.
the heck was that?
Hopefully you don't miss like the coyotes.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
kidding. Well, you got a little bigger target.
So the
Yeah.
bears are running in packs, you say? Like,
Yeah, I think their behavior is changing a little bit. Even the biologists will tell you that. They become pretty much, when they start moving into kind of more populated areas here, they become pretty much 100% nocturnal. And then we're viewing them in. I mean, I grew up hunting in the mountains where, I mean, a boar would have killed those cubs in a heartbeat. And yeah, I've got footage of sows with cubs running with boars close proximity. So
That's unreal.
They're evolving and changing a little bit.
Yeah, like because the boars are usually so hungry they'll eat the cubs.
Well, they want those sows to cycle, right?
Yeah,
so if they can get a cub,
nothing to do with hunger.
They will, yeah. But it seems to be, and even multiple bears kind of the same size that aren't breeding, running together, whether they're siblings or not. We're just seeing kind of goofy stuff a little bit. But I think as they can get congested and all of our, a lot of our ungulates are moving into the lower country, and so it's all changing a little bit, and obviously the grizzly bears are changing with it.
Oh, well, that's crazy. That's unreal. Because like when I think of bears, I think of like a solitary bear or a mama and her cubs, and then you see this going on, especially in a populated area. That's kind of scary shit sometimes. Excuse my French.
No kidding.
Yeah. No, it's changing.
It's $40.
Yeah.
Exactly. It goes into the bullet fund.
Chase is just on it.
You're gonna sell more stickers to pay for that, Kurt.
I know.
So Chase, back to your PRS stuff. Sorry, we kind of went on a tangent there. So was shooting, like you talked about how you kind of got into it, but was it a natural sort of pickup for you, or did you have to really work at it to get those skills to be able to go to those competitions? Like, how did that work for you?
Because Dad sort of did it for a few years before I got into it, so Dad could help me with a whole bunch of it, but it took a while before I was able to figure out how to run a tripod and how to run a bag and how to move positions on a fence or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it was helpful it was nice that Dad could help me with helping set up all that stuff, and yeah.
Nice. Sorry, I'm just reading through some of the comments here, Sean. So, hey, one important question here. Do the chicks dig it? It's like, dude, I'm not old enough for that yet.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies, I finished in the top 20. And...
Listen, take
sure
it
you
from...
did, kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Take it from an old guy with experience.
Yeah.
Stay shooting.
Yeah. Do not be distracted.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm too busy being Dad to even talk to them. So
there you go. There you go.
There's a man that's got it figured out.
Yeah, priority son. That's how we do it. Yeah.
Oh boy. So listen, you're kind of self-marketing there. Where I discovered you was on Instagram, and I see you on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, are you you're fairly active on that, and you got some good stuff on your accounts. I like it.
Yeah, trying to keep up on that and thank all of the sponsors and stuff we get from all of them, so that it's better than just taking it and going along without saying anything. So try to keep up with that. And yeah.
That's pretty important, man. Like the people that support you directly like that, showing them some gratitude and representing their product and everything is extremely important in stuff like this. And I'm sure they're happier than hell to help you out with all this kind of stuff, because let's admit, seeing a young guy like you out in the field doing these things with grown adults is a pretty special thing, especially when you end up beating your dad at some of these shoots. That's amazing. And ending up 20th out of 100 and some people, that's awesome. And it's good exposure for those sponsors, and showing them some gratitude is excellent. And I think you do a great job of that.
Thanks. Yeah. It's a little hard, like through winter and COVID, we haven't been able to do very much of it.
Yeah.
And so now that the restrictions have sort of lifted a little more, we can now go do a whole bunch of more sport or shoots.
Right.
And so that helps a whole bunch.
So what do you got for plans coming up then?
We might go to one we might go to a PRS shoot in Colorado here in a month or so. And then really Dad just takes care of it. I don't.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Just shows up shoot.
Yeah.
Just so I will say his mom is a social media expert, so that she comes from a background, so that helps significantly. And I will say the guys that go big have been, and I think if you look at his team, he's done more for, he's done a lot for youth shooters in general. Yeah. So he's been great that way. Oh, as far as our plans going forward, we're gonna shoot as much as we can here in Canada this year. But having said that, there's some pretty big conflicts. So with the Sharpshooter Classic, going down. There's an NRL conflict there, and then Colton's got another match the end of August, and we've got finals, kind of in that realm too. So, because Chase has registered or has qualified for the Grand Slam finals in Idaho. So, as much as we want to stay in Canada, it's we get pulled south a little bit too.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that. Go kill it, buddy. That's huge.
Absolutely. All right, I'll try.
Okay. Are you guys going to Saprel for those centerfire matches, or?
We'll I don't know the first. So the one day we're gonna have to make some choices because there's some other matches, just across the line for us. We'll definitely be at the 2-day match. And then we're going to try and do Colton's July match.
Yeah.
We'll try for sure.
Is that the Cypress Showdown, or is that the one that was supposed to be in Alberta? I can't remember.
I think I forget what's what, but he's got one on the July 9th weekend. Then he's going to do another one in August, late August. So I don't know that we can make the late August one, but we're going to try and do the July one. So we'll try and do that. We're kind of located in a funny spot here. So we've got Josh and the whole BC PRL league kind of on the coast. They're 6 hours one direction. Then we've got Saprel and Colton 6-7 hours east of us. But Rock Lake in Cheney is only 3 hours from us. So sometimes it's easier, even some of the Montana shoots is just closer for us to drop down. So we'll just have to kind of play it by ear and see where we get to.
And how was your experience coming back across the border with, because obviously you took your gear with you, right? Did you get any hassle from CBSA or anything like that, or?
No, I mean, if you haven't done it before, you got to have a Form 6 to go in. Yep. So I screwed up. I didn't check a box on Chase's rifle. Like the day before I was on the phone with them, I got the right lady and she turned it around for me like within an hour.
Well, and generally the ATF is pretty good with that. Like if you're coming down they want you to spend money down there, right? So they're more than willing to help you out.
And if you're a competitor and you're going to a match, blah blah blah, they're going to do what you can. I will say, coming back, dealing with Canadian border, I have never had an issue, and I
wish I could say the same.
A dozen times. I don't think I could. But you guys live over on the other side there, so.
Well, we're in Saskatchewan. I'm out of Regina. Kurt's out of Saskatoon.
And you look like a terrorist, Sean.
I shaved up for that. So I didn't. But when we went down for a SHOT Show, we had zero issue going across the border. Like that border patrol, they were like, no, it was great. What are you going down for? Well, we're going for work. Well, what do you do for work? Well, we're in media. Well, what are you doing? Well, we're going for a trade show. What trade show? I'm like, SHOT Show. Okay, have fun. That's all I wanted to know. Coming back, they didn't even ask for my passport. They asked for my PCR test immediately. It's like, oh, this is gonna be fun. Yeah. So, and like I'm fully vaccinated, so I don't care. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, no, and going to Montana, that beautiful country down there to shoot. The people are top notch, and yeah, I would love to go down there and and shoot some PRS down there. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, we cross the border both directions, and
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. J.R. Cox from the shooting edge out of Calgary says, Sean, if you ask for the cavity search, you get the cavity search. JR, I only asked from you, buddy. So,
oh, that's funny.
Anyway, Dan Castillo on the Facebook, he says here, what do you guys do for ammo when you get to the States for matches?
So we take our hand load. So when you fill out your Form 6, there's a spot in there to put whatever ammo you're going to bring with you. And again, I've never had an issue. I kind of have a theory that most border guys, both directions, are kind of gun guys to begin with. Maybe it's just a theory, but I kind of half believe that. And I have, even when they do go through stuff and, do their due diligence and stuff, I kind of feel like it's curiosity as much as anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've never had an issue.
Yeah.
As long as you get your paperwork and stuff,
That's right.
don't be a jerk and, try and
Well, that's
smuggle 20 pounds of powder back or something.
Well,
like that.
that's
As
it.
long as you're doing everything on the up.
Yeah, and be honest and don't lie, and you'll be fine. And especially if you're coming into Canada, make sure you ask them about how terrible their service weapon is, because the Beretta PX4 Storm with an 18-pound trigger pull, nobody likes to train with that. So they love talking about it. So anyway, hey, look at this, Chris. Hey, buddy.
Chris Hagan says, hey, Tyler and Chase, better see you in Saskatchewan shooting again this summer. It was a blast shooting with you last year.
Yeah,
that's a good endorsement there.
Chris from Predator World Hunting and him and Scobes. They saw Chris at the Moose Jaw Gun Show this last weekend. Stellar individual. And then Shane. Of course, Shane's going to talk shit. He says, yeah, Sean, definitely going to jail at some point. Just look at me. I got that face, I guess. I don't know.
You do. You kind of.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
Well, right, you got that face, but we love you anyway.
That's right. It's the teddy bear mentality. You just want to give me a hug, right? Anyway. So, Chase and Tyler, what is next for you guys? We talked about some of the matches, but you got any bigger plans in the future? Are you guys going to cross the pond ever, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, training? Are you getting into, pumping up, building, bodybuilding and stuff, Chase?
Pick things up and put them down.
Look at that. Yeah. Look at those traps on that guy. Hey, let's see your biceps, huh? Give us a shot.
Hey, you keep working the cows
better than I can.
You won't have to work out. The cows will do it for you. Especially we start tossing small square bales.
There's still a little bit of loose shirt right here, so try to make that up.
Well, it's better than the loose skin that I got, pal. This is what you got to look forward to.
Hang it upside down.
Which way's the beach?
Yeah,
that way. Yeah.
Oh, sorry for that derail.
No, we're just gonna do as many matches as we possibly get to. My business is very, very busy in the summer, so it makes it a little bit challenging. So part of the reason we dip into the US as much as we do, we can kind of get off season. But we'll get to as many shoots as we possibly can. I think it's good for Chase to kind of shoot as many different disciplines and layouts as possible, So Amen. I think that's important too, to kind of build a self-rounded, a well-rounded shooter. Then, as far as going, there's some talk about like an international PRS. I think it's Hungary this year. Again, I'm slammed in August, so until it moves outside of summer, that's never an option for us. But I think all the competition here is in North America, so until you do well up here, when you do well, whatever it is, I don't think you have to worry about finding better competition. We're real interested in kind of representing Canada, and I've shot both. While the shoots are bigger in the US, I would put some of the top shooters in Canada, excluding myself. There's some Canadian shooters who I put in the very, very top.
Yeah.
On an international stage or, North American stage anyway. So I'm excited for the border to open up, and I really I want that sport to grow in Canada because I think, all the big names that we hear about on social and stuff, for the most part, those big sponsors, those big endorsements, they're all Americans right now.
Yeah.
I think that could change, or at least there's some guys in Canada that should have their name in the hat anyways.
Yes.
Well, one of them was listening here. So I don't know if you guys saw this guy here, Jeff Barron. He dominated 3-gun and IPSC circuits within Western Canada, and then he went down to, I think it was Superstition Mountain, and squatted with like Taryn Butler and some of the big dogs down there. And I think he finished top 25. Jeff, if you're still listening, you can correct me, but it was just like, no, like I could see it because he shows up with his CZ Shadow and destroys open shooters with the high end race guns and STIs and stuff. And, so like guys like him, then you got PRS guys that are, top of the world, that compete with John Pinch and that sort of thing. I'm not going to name names, but
you get guys like Ryan Stacy too in service rifle that has done so incredibly well.
Traveled the world with that. And, our buddy Cal Menard, he does really good too.
Absolutely. He travels around doing the ELR stuff. There's another one, Chase. Get your dad into ELR. Spend that money.
Like I said, bullets are expensive. So.
Here.
Tyler's like, shut up, Rouse.
Yeah.
Top 20 once at the Surefire multi-gun. That's what it was. Top 20 Jeff was. So
I think
Jeff, but
I think the knowledge base and all the components are there for us to produce some Canadian shooters that really do really, really well. Talking about Ryan Stacy, he spent some time at our place, and Ryan, if you ask Ryan why he won as many, championships as he did, he would straight up tell you it was just mental preparedness and the mental game of it. And so that's where Ryan's helped, Chase and myself, tremendously in that, looking at it through that lens. And especially for a young shooter, you have to simplify things a little bit. You have to go back to a procedure, and Ryan's been really good help there. So the more we can share some of that knowledge, and I tell people all this all the time because I show up at a youth to a PRS match.
Right.
You've seen this group, right? So if you're looking at them on the side of the road, it's a little intimidating. I mean, so much paramilitary guys with neck tattoos, and you see the group, right? Like, so you walk in there with a 10-year-old,
in there with elbows high.
Yeah. So you walk in there with a 10-year-old, and I mean, we've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I can say without exception, we have not had a bad experience in the shooting community. Not in the Canadian shooting experience.
You bet.
And I mean, everybody's been helpful. And I think that's our advantage, where we have access to some of these great shooters, and so I'm optimistic about the Canadians doing really well as things kind of start to open up.
Well, and you were talking about, how some of the guys down there do it professionally. I hope one day we can get to that level with our market in Canada, so that some of these big names, some of these Canadian companies, can start making the big bucks, so that they can start giving it to like Chase, to like, hey, you're a pro shooter. This is what you're going to do for a living. Like, we're just not there yet, but
we're not there yet. But I think it's twofold. I think we have to produce the product, so we have to have the shooters that are capable of competing at that highest level. Then second, as a shooting community, we kind of have to demand that. We've got some manufacturers right now that maybe aren't contributing as much to the Canadian market as they should. And when you look at it per capita, the Canadian market is a pretty big market. I don't want to name names, but when you really start looking at it, there's going to be some ROI and some return on investments for some of those companies. So I think it's all on us to come up with the results and a product or a shooter they can get behind, so to speak. And like I said, I'm pretty optimistic because I think they're there, and they're not far off. And the only limitation really is just exposure. And so we're super excited about the future.
Well, I think you guys have a good start, both of you guys, and even you, Tyler. You're, would you say 42 years old or some stinking thing? Like what I wouldn't do to be 42 again. You know, still lots of time to really improve and really get on top of your game.
Yeah.
And represent those companies in that, for sure. Be a Canadian ambassador for
Sure.
the shooting sports. Awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm very, very lucky. I have a son that has an interest in it. I think you have to start with an interest and kind of go from there. And so, I mean, it's kind of cool that we get to do it together as well.
Well, and you've got the support backing you. You got guys like Ryan Stacy. You got guys like Martin at MDT. You got you know, the guys that go big. You know, and Trigger Tech and all that. You know,
What
not a lot of people have that opportunity. And
no.
Yeah, so ride the wave, buddy. It's awesome.
Ryan Stacy comes on. He says, "I'll share the mental game with Chase if he stops beating me all the freaking time." But you know what? I'll wager that Ryan wouldn't mind losing to Chase at all.
No.
Yeah,
I don't know. We did a little 22 match there. Ryan beat us, but I don't know that he beat us by a lot.
He beat me by like 1 point.
Oh,
he still beats you. Yeah.
Right? Doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile, son.
It doesn't matter.
Win's a win.
Dan Castillo says short action ELR, and he has LOL there as though it's maybe a joke, but you know what? There's some interest out there in short action ELR. If you can piece that together, it's taking short action cartridges out to a mile, and that's it offers people the opportunity to participate in that extreme long range stuff with not the big boomers. I was just talking to a buddy today with the 33XCs that we shoot, that a mile is really not all that tough at all.
Piece artillery right over your shoulder.
That's right. That guy back there.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, that's what you need, Chase. I think you better. I'll send the specs to Dad.
He's like, don't give him ideas.
Just send him.
That'll have to sell a couple of those cows.
Ryan can put up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, if Tyler asks you for my home address, don't give it to him.
I can't guarantee anything, buddy.
Anyways, getting back to that short action ELR, like it's a very viable thing, I think, and guys can enjoy the challenge of getting way the heck out there without spending truckloads of money.
Having to take out a second mortgage.
Yeah, no kidding. There's something else here I wanted to address, but I can't remember. I can't find it. Where the heck it was. Anyway, where are we at?
Well, I think that we're getting pretty close to the end here.
Yeah.
We've Chase, where can everyone find you and follow you?
Instagram, Facebook, just PRS kid PRS underscore kid. Yeah, mom and dad and Go Big have been a real help with all the social media stuff, and yeah.
Nice. I was worried when I messaged you there on Facebook that like, oh my God, is this kid gonna think I'm a creepy old man? And then your mom messaged me back. And
well,
like, okay, good.
Yeah,
mom runs a little interference there.
That's you know what? That's
probably why we missed your first 3 messages.
Right. Well, at least you answered me, not like a lot of people. I don't know whether they look at my profile and just go, no.
This guy calls himself Chicken. What's up with that? Right on. Tyler, where can everybody find you?
Just my name. I'm not nearly as big as Chase on social, but Tyler Beckley, social, Insta or Facebook. You find me.
There you go.
You're probably all right with that, hey?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, right on. Well, if you guys haven't already, please check out the show, facebook.com/FFP podcast. Leave a review. Let us know how you're doing wherever you listen to it. Also, if you like the content, please leave a like on the page and share so we can spread the wealth. You can also email questions to us as well, whether you need long-range shooting advice, mental toughness, self-defense coaching from Chris, or technical questions. We'd love to hear from you. info@ffpp.ca. Kurt, why don't you tell everybody about this March Scopes promo?
Well, they're having their 15th anniversary sales running right now from March 1st through to March 14th.
Till Monday. If you're listening live, that's Monday.
It is, right. People can get up to 15% off on March Scopes during this time. You can get a hold of Doug Wright in Calgary at www.marchscopes.ca and his email, doug@marchscopes.ca. They're amazing scopes. Check them out. There's one right in here behind me. Sean's got one in his possession. Let us know if if you're local to us, if you need a demo or a look-see through these things. We could be in a neighborhood near you.
I just had mine at the March or the Moose Jaw Gun Show. And,
right.
I put a sticker on it, like a price tag on it. And everyone's like, holy,
smokes.
It's, what makes this so impressive? And I kind of ran through made in Japan, all parts are hand fit, one piece 70-75 aluminum tubing. Like, it's just phenomenal. And like, take a look through it. And everyone was like, I'm scared. I don't want to pick this up and drop it, because I just had it on the table. And they took a look through and like, oh, I can see how that's $6,000 or whatever. That one is a little more. Have you guys ever seen one of those, Chase and Tyler?
I've never put my hands on one. No.
That's a March Genesis 6-60. Yeah. It has 300 minutes of built-in adjustment.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's unreal. And Kurt's got it on his 33XC there, and it's absolutely unreal. Like, absolutely unreal.
Is. It truly is.
Yeah, like the scope will outshoot Kurt and me all day.
Well,
like, all day.
Whoa. Back it up, son.
But the scopes we have now are for sale. So if you guys want them, let us know and we'll meet you.
You bet. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. And next up, we have Ribstone Gunsmithing for all your gun plumber needs, including wood refinishing, repairs, and rust bluing. To bring the old girl back to life, contact Oscar Long at ribstonegunsmithing.ca. You may have heard it here before, but you're going to hear it again now. He's the Wizard of Czar, Alberta. How many people actually know? Everybody from Alberta makes fun of all of us from Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Well, right. Who's ever heard of Czar, Alberta?
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't think the people who live in Czar know that they live in Czar.
The people that live in Czar are unaware of actual communities around them. There's nobody outside of Czar.
Yeah. And let's not lie. Oscar lives in Nose Hills. He doesn't live in Czar.
No, that's right.
He lives there. Anyway. Well, we're also giving away a pretty kick-ass rifle built by EM Precision. We're about half sold now. Kurt, I don't have anything to pull up on it.
Oh, you don't?
Kind of looks like that. Oh, wait, that's the background.
No, that's not it.
Hold on. I'm not prepared.
Tyler's like, I'm out of here, you bunch of...
Anyway, it's an all-Canadian build built by EM Precision Rifles, built by Shane and Steve. Well, built by Steve. EMP Rifles, hand making a custom 6.5 man bun, 6.5 Creedmoor, complete with a Cadex R7 action, sheepdog action, IBI barrel, heathen. It's not a heathen.
It is a heathen. Oh, sorry. No, it is an IBI muzzle brake. Yes.
It's an IBI muzzle brake. We have to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, sorry, that's a typo. That's me.
As much as the heathen is kicking ass, we're not giving one away. It'll be the IBI
right.
One. So it'll be an IBI barrel, MTU profile barrel, IBI 3-port muzzle brake, MDT XRS chassis. Can't go wrong with an XRS. And to round out the package, Vanya has stepped up from Apex Optics. Is it a 6-32 or a 4-32?
No, it's a 4-32. That's
4-32. Apex Rival 4-32. In MDT Premier rings, and lives in a Pelican V800 fitted hard case from Gun Forms. So worth around $7,000 to $8,000, give or take, of the day, because of the world we live in. But you listening can win this just by buying a sticker for $25. If you get a sticker, you get one entry, and you can, wherever you live in the world, outside of, there'll have to be export permits and stuff going on if we do get away to somebody in the States or worldwide, like Australia or whatever. You can send an email to info@ffpp.ca, EMT, $25 per entry. We need your name, email. Well, we don't need your email, your name,
No.
your phone number. And if you want your sticker, put your address in it. $25, and you have a 1 in 500 chance of winning. It's that simple. We're half sold. So,
Yes.
we'll be sold out by the Calgary Gun Show.
Absolutely.
So,
just want to thank EM Precision for putting that together, working with us, and getting that sorted out, getting all the components sourced and delivered and in their shop, machined and put together. We should have that coming up by the end of the month, I believe. If everything falls into place, like delivery times and everything are not great all around the world right now. And we should have, by the Calgary Gun Show, middle of April, we should have that Apex Optics scope on top of it.
If we don't, we'll and we sell it, we're still going to give it away. I'll have my 6.5 Creedmoor there, so you guys can finger blast that and figure out what's going on there. And it's very, the only thing that's different is the barrel is different, because mine is an IBI MTU profile, but with a spiral flute on it, with the Cerakote. And then it also has a inside Heathen muzzle brake on it. So that'll be different, but everything else is essentially the same outside of the optic. So,
well, between us, Sean, we have 5 or 6 examples of EM Precision work that we can show off. So,
and Shane says it's getting a fancy black multicam Cerakote as well. Interesting.
Ooh, yes, I can't wait to see that. That can't be easy to do.
So we're half sold. We have roughly 250 stickers left, give or take. I don't know what, I didn't check the spreadsheet, but it'll be phenomenal. I wish we could enter.
No.
But again, send an EMT, $25, info@ffpp.ca. Yes, guys, you are helping to support the show, but we are traveling the world. We're going to TACCOM in September. We're going back to SHOT Show in January.
Right.
We're going to go to all these different matches. We're going to SAPRO, the Prairie Showdown at Colton Backman's place. Yep. All these rimfire events for the LRSS.
King of 2 miles.
Yeah. And those are just matches, let alone what other events we're going to. So,
yeah, you betcha. Excellent. So, just want to thank everybody who has bought stickers and participated. Thank you very much. We appreciate every one of them.
You bet.
All right. Dan, Dan Castillo, he says, Kurt, our deal is still good, right? Right.
No. If we didn't have Little Ears present, I'd call you out, Dan.
Dan, you got to buy another dozen tickets.
Well, special thank you to Chase and Tyler for coming on tonight, guys. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. And if you need to find them, PRS_kid on Instagram, go give him a like and a follow. And he's an ambassador for the community. So thanks, guys.
Watch Appreciate for this guy coming up.
No kidding. Imagine when he's
Thanks,
like
guys.
20. It's going to be phenomenal.
No well, thanks for helping us put this together, Tyler. That was great. Last week, when we first proposed it, you come on last Friday. It was a bit of a rush, and I'm glad we pushed it off to this week. It was great, and we could hear about your trip to California too. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming on.
And before we sign off, guys, a massive thank you to all of our sponsors. Without you, we wouldn't have this show in the first place. So Shane and Steve, you guys are watching. Love you guys. Miles, Carey, Cappy from Call Sign 66, Duncan and Rob from Bolt Action Coffee, Doug and Niza from Art Scopes, Phil Odell, the absolute legend from Kitchener, Vanya and Carly from Apex, and Rob and Oscar from Rib. So thank you all. Appreciate you very much. And See you next week, guys. Chase and Tyler, do not leave. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Sayonara, everyone.